Hello Blender folks, here we are again, having some trouble managing those windows here. There we go. Yes. So this is a continuation of the hand thing, right? So basically, why she doesn't have, the clothes, of course. I was modeling something about the leg right before, so that's why. So let's just not use the sleeves and the gauntlets, the gloves. Alright, so what is happening here is that I'm progressing with the rig, and the hand I'm reshaping the fingers because the rest position of the hand for the mesh, and both the mesh and the armature bones, right? It was the hand open, right? Normally, like how we usually start modeling it. However, as the deforms made the clenched fist pose, right? I figured out that everything was wrong, like not only the proportions, you see I'm adjusting already here, but also there were natural volume loss from the fingers. So because there's too much rotations on those bones. So what instead I've realized that I should probably be doing, of course this is partially experimental, and partially I know that this strategy works, is that I've made a whole process of without having to remodel the hand on edit mode. I've just changed the rest position for the bones and the mesh of the hand, but only for this. So we use this in our vertex group. It's a bit complicated, but then I figured it out, and I've made some video about it, some videos before, some live before, but it's still not a tutorial, so there was still some confusion there and it's not clear. So but then I'm gonna make a tutorial about this. Now I know better how this is done, and then I've made this new rest position. Then I already started fixing the mesh geometry, because the mesh topology it's good as it is. This is the best I was able to achieve, although maybe for the knuckles I could do something else, but so far it's working. And I just need to rearrange the shapes of the fingers. So one technique of rigging, and to avoid volume loss, of course, you see the volume loss is happening now in the opposite direction, but this is because I still anyways, it's very bad, yes, but it was very bad when those fingers on this volume were the hand were getting, the fingers will get like that, right? You see, so they certainly had volume loss, and certainly their proportions were not good. So I didn't make a good plan for the clenched fist pose. And this is a hand that I've modeled a long time ago, so this is why. And I didn't make the test. So in principle, I think that currently, if I were to remake a hand from scratch, I would try to, of course I wouldn't try to model the hand in this pose. I'll model it open, but before modeling I would make sure at least that the bones, or let's say a very simple mesh, I would try to rig the very basic mesh, like nearly cube stuff mesh, and start to see if the shape on the clenched fist pose is good enough, because it's very easy to, the hand looks good open stylistically and whatever, but then as we close we might, like it happened to me, it was not very, actually very bad, right? So this is slightly difficult to see sometimes, maybe because I'm not great at hands anatomy, but also I can draw hands, so actually it's just not my specialty. And then of course in 3D, in CG art, I'm not very experienced so far. especially not in regarding hands. So, but this is a process we evolve. So now I need to arrange two things simultaneously. Those bones for the hand, they are deformed bones. So I probably need to, let's see. Yes, let's make a selection here of this, and let's, oh, I have a hand rig, but I don't know what is it, so I'm just gonna delete it and make it again. Fingers, actually, and these, let's delete to simplify, and then assign. So this is my new selection set, and this means I should start working on, oh, there's a lot of layers there. Okay, now it's better. So yes, I need to readjust not only the, yeah, and this will make some issues. I'll have to reassess many features of the bones because I'll have to change their rest positions as well. So I don't want to sacrifice all the rolls I have made, because these have values here, inverse kinematics. Yeah, lots of this one. Oh, actually just the first, these ones have, you see those arcs here, these are from inverse kinematics panel settings here. So I've made a lot of job here, work on these fingers, and I don't want to, but not on the others though, so that's not so terrible. So yeah, as I repose the bones here, maybe I'll have to reassign some stuff here to adapt to the new rest position, because rest pose is on pose mode, and rest position is for edit mode, and there is actually a rest position concept for the mesh and the rest position for the armature, and it's very important to separate this, I've learned, but it's complicated because the same name, rest position, it's not technically subdivided into for mesh and an armature, so it can get really it can be really puzzling when we are dealing with other rigging features, like I were when I was, like, for example, you see in this rig I have a key bone constraint for the leg, but the rest position for the model, for the mesh object, is that, even for the clothes, but for the rest pose, sorry, for the pose mode or object mode is this one for the mesh also. And so this means how this is possible, and that the key bone constraint doesn't go crazy. It's because the settings, I'll have to show the armature, hold on. What's happening is that on edit mode I just have certain bones there. Let's see. Yes, the deformed bones are there, but also some part of the mechanism bones and control bones for the foot, they have this rest position. So yes, and the only thing that has a rest position here in terms of the armature is the master leg, which is this one. And so with some trick here I was able to get all this contraption here go match to this bone, which then determines the rest pose for the, so sort of a T pose, right, or at least for straight legs, sort of. And so and this while remaining, so all these things, because of local space qualities of the bone constraints, and all this is aligned diagonally in this way, and this is not really difficult to set up. It's just a bit puzzling, but we need to use this normal thing and sometimes use the some reference here to the cursor individual order. We need to, and of course we need to match like this the not only the roles with this recalculate role, but we need also to match sometimes the orientation of the bone. So takes some time, but it's actually simple. It's a simple thing to do. The most difficult is to conceive this system, and then of course there are a lot of complications, but I'm doing this because yeah, I'm sort of crazy in rigging, and this is experimental, but it works, and this is advanced foot rig, right? So usually we do that in right. And so yeah, this is a contraption, very quite complicated to reach this level, but it's perfectly feasible. I should do a tutorial about that. The advantage of doing this, well, one of the cool things of doing this is not just for beautiful, is because it has certain utility. And the utility that I found for this is that in this circumstance I can have a rest position for the mesh that is better for the deforms on either whatever we do on the normal transforms for the bones, so the poses, right? So this pose is better, naturally better, as the leg bends forward like this. Of course, here I'm not gonna give an example. I'm always giving an example. So I can assure that this rest position, this pose here, is much better when the leg has some sort of bending like that. And same equals to the joints. However, we must also know that this is also valid to the opposite. So because the rest position is like that, the buttocks region suffers much more than a T pose or A pose for the straight legs. Then yes, so this makes the buttocks region worse, even worse than usually it is. But it makes the frontal bending of the leg better. There is a middle term, and the T pose, the A pose for the leg, the straight legs, is not exactly a good middle point. It's not so much a question, I'm saying this every time, it's not just of the middle point, like a Vitruvian, Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian human figure drawing, right? It's also about the shapes. Do the shapes, while there is some radical rotation of the bone, the deformed bones like the thigh bone as it rotates forward, how this mesh, rest position mesh, how bad does it deform until the end on whatever side, on both sides, even if it's sort of in the middle. So that's, sometimes it might be easier, that's my theory, this is my thesis, that if we find a good, not necessarily exact in the middle, like this is why this arm is bent somewhere like here, and this kind of bending. Now I've found out that the next rest position that I'm gonna make for the whole arm will be this one, something like that, because then this pose will already start very well for this critical region. And I found that this rest position for the mesh is also very good for this and for this, and even for this. This will be the more dramatical pose because it's all that motion, but actually this mesh behind the arm doesn't suffer much. Also, actually it could even get some benefit from it because of the volume loss that would occur on the armpit. So I need to test this more, but so far I've made a quick experiment there some time ago, and I was very surprised that this was a good rest position for the arm. So currently, because I needed to make some more research on the rest position change through that complicated method that here you have to duplicate Shift D, then apply Control A. Oh, not doing this right now. Okay, I've just did that just for the arm. and this is why I have this. Otherwise it will affect all the body, and this will wreak havoc my entire rig with, besides the clothes. And I found out the way to do it regionally. I have recorded the process in a video, but it's a bit okay. I've already said this in the beginning, sorry. Let's continue here in the hands and start chatting that much. If you have any questions, you can say hi in the chat. I'm here on the chat open. I see there any movement from your part, if there is. And so what I need to do here, of course, let's reselect this thing. I don't want any other bones to appear. I'll probably require to make some, yeah, these are too large. I want to be seeing them, so I don't want to change the rest position right now, but yeah, we could. I should actually, but the reason why I wouldn't do this right now is that I am gonna probably change some things on the mesh, so it will be double work, right? So let's try to do what we can from here. So I'll need to hide all the mesh here. Is there some mesh remaining? Yes, there is. And then I need here to do I have height steps add-on? No, I don't. Unfortunately, if to make my life easier, do I have it at least downloaded? Let's see. Hide steps, a very interesting add-on. Install. I hope it works, but I'm afraid I exactly don't have it installed because precisely it wasn't working on this Blender 3.6.0. Let's see. Where is the utility? Yes, here. Add-ons installation. Add-ons not installed. Pen, I think is that one. Auto apply, no. And already installed. Hide steps. Oh, there it is. But it's not installed. Okay, so here we go. Let's. Apparently it is, at least it's working in the installation. Steps, let's add like 3. Refresh. All right, where it is, there is nothing regarding it, so let's see. Sounds broken. What if perhaps it's because I've installed it while I was having let's see. Hold on, I've just lost my window. Okay, here, let's try here again. No, I think it's not working. Maybe I did an update. So let's remove. Hope at least, yeah, okay, can't do that. I'll try again. Maybe hide steps. Maybe this was not supposed to happen. All right, so now I get this hide. Okay, now it's worked. So apparently, but not so fast. Let's try this. So hide, unhide, hide, hide. Let's see, unhide. No, it didn't work. Let's try again. Hide, hide, hide. So if I unhide, okay, unhide, unhide. You see, this is how it works. So great, it is working. I finally got this back. So this will help in the following way. How many steps I have? I'll make 5 steps just in case. Okay, so let's I'll start hiding here. This will be a, just in case, a backup hiding. Hide everything here and hide there. Oh, I have too many hides. Of course, this is not what I want. So, okay. This is not... So, let's hide everything here. Alright. And now I need to start working on hiding the elements on this hand, right? So, it's a free add-on, by the way. I've seen it on a YouTube tutorial. A very good YouTube tutorial, by the way. Very simple, straightforward, as the tool. Okay, so what I need to... Okay. So, the proportion of the hand is probably bad. If I check my hand, trying to be a bit realistic in terms of having some sort of realistic reference, I see that perhaps the fingers on this position, they are too far from the center of the hand, but in part this is normal because these fingers will reach really close to the middle, but only once these fingers, the phalanges here, these ones are pushed deeper inside. And so if there isn't a force that is pushing them inside, like stiffened, contracted, very strong contraction, even of the hand, there won't be this, they will stand like this. So this is not necessarily wrong, but also I see that the mesh, as we contract the fingers, this mesh should deform in that direction too. So there's this thing should have some sort of mechanism to squash the flesh, as I'm seeing. So it's like as the fingers close in, even it's not necessarily something of the thumb, there's a tendency that this flesh would in opposite way reach there. There's some volume that should gain here. As this flesh is probably being compressed, it will then enlarge that here. Apparently there's some mechanism going on there, very slightly, but yes, there's some. And so I'm not sure how I will reproduce this, because in the 3D this is not done apparently automatically. So the idea here is that my rest position, I don't need to have it clenched totally, like compressed, because if these poses are good enough in the rest, if these poses of these fingers are good enough here, additional deforms here, transforms of these bones inwardly won't be a problem regarding deforms. I mean this mesh won't change a lot. So I can keep them like in this more regular, not totally compressed rest position. I think this is fine. But I just must make sure that this distance, I could do this artificially. So I believe that currently this is the finger that I'm start to work with. The other ones of course are horrible. Let's try to adjust this now, but actually let's hide the armature for a while, right? Yes, I could start changing these, making this thing better, just so they don't look so horrible and distorted. I'm not using this right now, proportional editing. Of course it is difficult to, I would never model the hands, the fingers like in this Nordi hand, in this rest position, but this doesn't mean that we can't model it properly, like straight fingers, and then change the rest position for the hand, right, like I did, and then make some, if required, usually required, some readjustment of the mesh, and then this would be the starting reference. Good knuckles here, good, provide they are preserved as the fingers get straight. I believe this would be a better rest position for the deforming of the hand, at least this on this, because here you understand, right? I'll give this already compressed fingers, like the flesh here will be sort of, not a lot, but quite compressed, and as I open these dwarfed dwarfed fingers, they chubby fingers, right? They will become good fingers, straightened, because when they, on the opposite way, as I was clenching the fist, with the fingers, these were not becoming dwarf fingers. On the opposite, they're becoming elf thin fingers and horrible fingers. So now we start with compressed fingers, and this, as the bones, deformed bones, rotate outwards, there will be volume loss, but this volume loss will be, let's say, natural, a more natural thing to happen. It would be like stretch in opposite to squashing. So this will be a squashing pose, squashed pose for the fingers. And so I found this will be a very cool concept to explore in rigging, and particularly in this case rigging fingers. And I want to try this out. I believe it makes sense. So it's the first time I'm attempting this technique, and if it works, of course there would be other ways, maybe simpler ways, but actually the phenomenon of the fingers, even stylized fingers, this one, to lose volume on this fingers rotation was evident in my case. Very bad things, and it's not necessarily something easier to solve. Actually, I didn't have any good idea in mind, so I struggled with many other things, and then these two, wow, there's just little fingers, yeah, but they're getting really bad. And so it occurred me, I was using this approach of the rest position. Wow, why not use this to the fingers instead of creating some sort of constraints, bone constraints or other rigging approach which would like try to give volume to the fingers, which is pretty interesting idea. I've learned, someone has, another rigger told me about this idea, and I found very relevant, but I don't know how to reproduce it exactly. And also then it occurred me, why not doing this approach that I was already doing elsewhere. And so that's what we're doing here. Okay, this part of the mesh topology is bizarre, but remember there is the there is this subdivision surface modifier, just one subdivision going on. One, or yes, just one. You see, so and this is enough to make the fingers, at least for this character, workable. Alright, so this is very complicated. I even have a trigon here. And then it does become a diamond quad. So that is great. I don't remember this feature in Blender. Maybe this is something they implemented. I don't know. Recently. My idea is that those wouldn't subdivide properly. That's why we should avoid trigons. But now it subdivides greatly. So it's... Oh, this face is horrible. Okay, now it got better. Alright, so I'm doing details, but you see what I did here? I've contracted the hand itself. Sounded too large, so I've made something about that. Then maybe here I'm concerned about this mesh already, so perhaps I should give this larger this is confusing already, so let's return to the finger one by one. So actually I can always pose the mesh on... I don't have the bones right now, but this nail got quite deformed. What's happening to this? Oh, it got sort of inverse, right? Yeah, all of them got... I'll have to reshape those things. So this is the thing I'm a bit concerned about. How far can I keep doing this without a lot of trouble, right? Without a better technique, this is a nightmare, right? At least the mesh topology is sort of solved, and I don't intend to change it. Even for the knuckles it seems okay, but I need to improve the mesh geometry, so this certainly. Okay, so this finger, let's continue. So my strategy, because this is a simple geometry right now, it's just 4 edges edge loop here. Yes, this is just... My idea is that what is below gets larger, and what is above the top of the finger gets and then this could grow backwards. Yes, this might be this also should get somewhere like this. This actually could get straighter, so here, as this approach, perhaps I should... This should be in the middle, or perhaps here. I think this is yeah, I need to reassess these two. Maybe even this edge loop is not required. Let's make a test. If I... This is dangerous, but we can... Let's save and let's dissolve this in this oversimplification of the mesh. And then what if I pick this? Yes. And where is the... Lacking some edge loop there, right? What happened? Oh, accidentally I picked a wrong one, so let's dissolve this one. Now, yes. This doesn't pick the one on the back, but now we can expand this. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this this kind of doesn't help in the shape. Like you see here, there are some cool shapes going on, but in the sense of simplification, I could dissolve this and then oops, not this one, hold on, I can certainly dissolve this and then re-add them again in when the time comes. So yeah, this sounds an interesting strategy. So except that here I must think about the knuckles. What should I do? Grow this a lot? Yeah, let's keep it like that. Then there is the proportional thing, right? Each one and the orientation. I want to give them some sort of organicity, and this one should be the smaller, this the larger knuckle. This, it's sometimes hard to visualize. With bones there is the length. For these edges I'm not even sure, but that will be visually. You might have realized this character has just 4 fingers per hand, so it's like an alien or a cartoon Disneyan thing in terms of the hand structure, although the stylization is not meant to be in the Disney way. I wouldn't even know how to handle this style, so this is something more. Alright, let's see this. No, this is totally wrong. So this should be thinner, right? And okay, so now time for this one. This one is alright. This positioning sounds very wrong. There are many things very wrong yet. It's very confusing, I know, but okay, so let's see. Another idea that I was working with is that this will be like going backwards. I mean, you see what I mean, going that way. So they are not aligned like vertically in that situation. This will stand in front. I don't know if it's good or bad idea. We'll test in real time as we go. I mean, and so same here. And the way to do this test will be to actually well, that's actually not working very well here. Hold on, this is too much for this one. Also it needs to go backwards. Alright. Alright, it's still pretty bad, but this is because I think this part of the finger also requires some readjustment, just I did for the other. Okay, now it doesn't look that bad. This is probably not a good idea. What is this from? Okay, so apparently this proposition is really complicated, and so maybe I would be looking for a better solution, unless this thing shows to be really effective in terms of the forms. And this is what I'm as a rigger, this is what I'm ultimately looking for. But there are many factors to consider. Alright, so this finger needs to have some better orientation here in relation to the hand. It was kind of tilted in some awkward way. It's still alright, then this let's use the edge rate. This should be larger, and this also could be larger. Here we can get, so I think it's good that this goes slightly behind or not. Maybe it's not a good idea. Wait, but these are subdivisions. Yes. Didn't I delete something? Alright, so now I'm confused. So maybe I was playing with a subdivision, extra subdivision that was completely useless. And this might be the better one. Okay, so now this was already tilted. Alright, so let's see this. Alright, so what does that looks like? Okay, let's make them think. Oh, this is very big on the top. It's not a good idea. This is too large for the pinky. And here we can go and this. Let's make the, yeah, with these changes already, I think I have enough substance here to make the test involving the bones, the deformed bones. So let's make a quick test here. Just let me fix these joints here. Not fix, just give them a little more substance. They were too disrupted. Okay. Then, even though this is certainly not far from what I want, I want much better result in many ways, but let's see how these fingers start to look on another. So I'm gonna, after all this manual work, let's save a new one and let's go to the armature. Let's I now am going to make this thing that I thought that was dangerous, but actually never mind this. Okay, let's work this like proportionally, right? Because they already had some very subtle proportions. Unfortunately, I'll have to disrupt this at some point. Let's unparent this or disconnect for a moment, and let's pick these and get them some sort of rotation like that. The hand is tilted in some way that I could fix if I just repose the master bone, right? Or no, actually this is something about the mesh. This is not about the master bone, sorry. The mesh is that is slightly tilted. It's not a problem. Okay, so I can change these bones. We see that they don't match very well the knuckles, so apparently I need to scale this up. The joint, we could centralize this. Okay, this is not terrible, this is fine. The orientation of the axis seems fine, preserved. Now of course I'll have to make changes here, so let's remake the parent connected, and now of course I'll have to, at least there will be some alignment, I guess. Yeah, everything is moving along, so yeah, this was intuitively correct. Now we reduce the scaling of all the trees simultaneously because their length is, this is the taller, the longest, this is a little smaller, and this even smaller. So I don't want to, I'll have eventually to lose this. It's not a very accurate proportion. I just mean it's basic visually, but it was wrong in terms of the general outlook of the fingers. So now I need to, yes, I'll have to manually do this. So, and for this I will lose some relations. So let's get this closer to the extremity, outer extremity. In principle, this is good for rigging joints. Here, that's fine. Can we do this for the others too, slightly? Centralize, yeah, closer to the extremity, and this one closer to the extremity. Yeah, all right, somewhere like here. Then I did this for these two, then maybe even more. Then this one somewhere like here. Let's see. And all right, then it's tilted in a wrong roll. I think the rolls will adjust later. This here and then here. All right, then we can already start here. Yeah, so this phalanx looks choose. Let me use this. No, it looks good. It's just the mesh doesn't correspond because I didn't touch that mesh yet as I did to this. So this is looking a bit better. This is still an old one, so I'll use the fingers like that still, but knowing that this mesh is gonna change. So this bone doesn't matter. This is for the auto IK rig that I was employing. So this one we just align to this one. It's a control bone, but it's a control bone that is part of the IK chain, but it's the last, so it doesn't suffer. It confers the IK chain properties to the first one, to the last one of the FK chain. How to explain easily is that in this inverse kinematics, I would need to go on pose mode. In the inverse kinematics panel, if I started posing from this bone, the own bone with its wouldn't act upon the rest. Only the others will have their settings working, but not the first one if you start grabbing the first one. So that's why if I start grabbing a mechanical control bone like this one, that is part of the FK chain, and then I'm using the tool pose options auto IK, which I've made a control shift what is the shift alt X, so I can manipulate all these bones with the I'm not doing right now because I'm fixing something else, but we'll see it in a moment. So anyways, let's continue posing. I've just made for the pinky because, as you see, it's the only one which I've made the properties here. And thankfully I didn't do for every finger because I had to interrupt that fingers rig because I was up to something else. So yeah, shifting focus and different complicated but yet interesting rigging topics. And it was fortunate that I interrupted that process, because then I'd have to make this change anyways, and probably I have to change some stuff I've done for the pinky. Alright, so this will be the last thing. This finger is still not good mesh wise, mesh geometry wise. I want to, but I'm doing phalanx by phalanx, so in principle. Alright, what about this bone? Oh, this is also very bad, so let's take the opportunity to finish this too. I'm just in doubt about the joints. These colors are not so clear. I think the joint is between would be somewhere like here. And for this one, oh, this is not exactly. I'm confused. I have a joint here and a joint here. No, this. Okay, maybe this makes sense. Alright, and then of course I should change this rest position. In this case I can change the mesh itself, or I could leave the thumb like that. But I don't know, it sounds a bit bad for a rest. Okay, let's derotate the fingers. No, not like that. Individual, yes. And okay, the rolls are completely tilted. Let's see how the deforms are occurring. So for this finger, the rolls. Okay, so for this finger, you see the volume loss here. It's horrible, even worse as the fingers. So these fingers. Yeah, this is tragic. I wasn't expecting this incredible. You see how it goes bad from here to here, but the opposite was true. From here it was looking good shape, and then this makes it look horrible. Now it's like the opposite, right? So maybe they need to be even more chubby. This is promising, right? But we cannot know if we don't test, right? So let's do our homework here. So for the mesh, not the armature, let's go back on the mesh. This is the case where I could totally use the how do you say, the height steps in a very critical way. Let's hope I should have even vertex group to solve all the problem that I have here. I need to make my mind about that. It certainly would be a good idea. So yeah, so right, so if I hid all that, oh yes, I should make vertex group for each finger. Okay. So I'm gonna make a hide vertex group for each finger. What is this? These are older. These are for the transformation of the hand rest position. So I can delete. No, not important. What is this? Dead vertex group. Don't ever want to see this again. So let's make this hide thing here. And what I can do here is the following. Alright, I inverse invert this. Let's see. Okay, this is the index. So this is hide index. Alright, assign. Then I get this, add some, actually hide hand index. Then what I do here, I will I need to exclude these other fingers carefully so that I can make the mesh of the whole hand another vertex group. This I could do every finger individually first, but it occurred to me that if I okay, so I have a cool face loop here that which helps, except that I need to re-add these sides and then take off these, and there are more stuff there to take off. Here probably faces, yes, more faces, and there it starts to be confusing. Barely see there. Should I? Yeah, I should keep this one though. No, I mean this. Okay, so and then remove this. Is this correctly removed? Yes. So this would be okay. This will include the thumb, but we'll take that later. So this will be assign hide hand palm, whatever. So when I pick this vertex group and I hide, I can work only on the fingers. Then if I have the index finger, it's only this. But let's include for the index finger also these two here. Assign. Then let's unhide the hand and the finger, so let's to not make the, you see what I mean? Then I need one for each. My hide steps is limited to 5. Okay, so let's put 7 just in case. I hope this doesn't, yeah, it's this doesn't mean my mesh is disrupted. It just means that I need to perhaps uninstall the hide step or just put at 0 and then no. So apparently okay, let's, I don't know, there's some bug going on. At least it doesn't destroy the things, don't get hidden forever. That would be very bad. Alright, then I can reinstall that hide step. Let's see, because it's useful nonetheless. Maybe these bugs are happening because of the new Blender I'm using it. So let's put a 7 this time. And then let's start hiding by this, this, and this. Alright, let's see if that is working. Alright, this is working. No, Control Z, Control Shift Z. Okay, let's hide everything here. Let's continue with our hiding stuff, hiding pattern. So this time we do this. I want to isolate the pinky, and so that will be, I guess, this mesh. Fortunately they are not sharing too much things, so Well, they're sharing this part, this, so this. Okay, let's give it to the pinky, as the other one probably lost it to the index. So hide hand pinky, pinky assign hide. Oh, forgot this one. Assign hide. And this, should I keep that? Probably not. So, but for now, let's add hide hand middle finger. What is the? Don't remember. So middle finger, that would be that. Assign that. Let's unhide everything. Okay, so there is, this one is kept, and I think it's not. Something interesting happening there. What is this face loop? Okay, so this face loop doesn't necessarily makes part of the finger, nor this. So maybe I should give it to the hand, right? So the palm thing. So let's pick this one, hide. Let's pick this one now and remove this one from, to simplify, right? Remove from the index, remove from the pinky, remove from the middle, and add to the palm, assign. So, and then we unhide, and then we select and we hide. I also could make a thumb thing here, very simple, I assume. Well, not so simple, because there are some other face loops there that are these ones. Okay, but it's just isolating them, and then we can take all the rest here, and this should be the. Okay, but what about any other face loop like here? No, this is like, what about these ones? Okay, we can pick this, even though it doesn't make for a larger face loop, but there is this trigon there. Okay, let's give this as the hide hand thumb and assign. And so let's pick the. Sometimes it's much clearer to work if we check the state of the. Right, so let's hide. I like this angle. This actually makes things simple to work with. So maybe this is where I could perhaps extrapolate this. I don't know. No, I'm not touching this right now. So let's work on the fingers. Chubby fingers, remember. So first let's do something here. Sort by name. These go to the top. All my hiding layers, hiding vertex groups, so all for the hand are here. The palm is first, so let's give it one first, and the others are pinky is second in importance, and then okay, then could be 3. This is wrong. 2, 3. And 3, but pinky index will be the first. EM, IMP. Alright, so then sort by name again. Here we go. Palm, thumb, index, middle, pinky. Right. And so, and this is how I keep reorganizing my vertex group. Of course, let's lock these, so they don't get deleted or messed up. What is this things? Okay, this is for a previous experiment I was doing with yeah, dynamic wave painting with that wave mix modifier, vertex wave modifier here, vertex wave mix modifier, which can make for dynamic wave painting, which I've just had a few 1 hour ago an idea to include it into a tutorial technique that already exists for the buttocks deforms. I have saved this tutorial, an old tutorial by this time. I found a way to implement this technique on particularly that tutorial, a question that I was addressing in my previous live streaming today, just a few hours ago, and I didn't realize that I had a perfect application for this method, the one with that modifier, that's on that tutorial. I'm gonna even tell the author of the tutorial that I found an improvement to his technique, which is an armature deform technique. I can find the tutorial real fast here, by the way. You'll see that. So what is the it's a buttocks rig. No, it's, how did I call hips, female bone, lock, downward spine chain, best chips. No, this is a very old tutorial. Maybe it's not organized in the way I would be searching today. Yeah, so I have to find it in YouTube, on YouTube. OBS deconnection. Reconnection well succeeded. All right, let's go back. Lost my chat again here. Okay, what's going on here? So the knuckles, what I'm doing, I'm randomly fixing stuff. I need to use I was explaining something, but that doesn't matter now. Ended the explanation. I need to hide the palm. The palm, I mean. And but it was good as a reference, right? I would like to lock it right now, this vertex, but made them unselectable, but I don't know how to do this right now. So let's work on the hand like this, and in this case proportional editing is good, because you see, even though the brush, the cursor is gigantic, it's making the finger, the mesh doesn't extrapolate to the other because it's not connected directly. It's had to go all the way down the finger, all the way up the finger, in order for it to proportional edit the other parts, right? Of course, this won't help me for whatever I'm doing here. So the idea, besides fixing the geometry, which is horrible, I was making these fingers chubbier on this new rest pose, but of course I need to not be using this all the time, because this is not good for the fixing of the shapes. I mean, there are very irregular things going on here. I need to fix the irregularity first. Even on low poly, this is a lot of work. I'm not sure exactly about how I will deal with this. And then each finger has a different. The idea here would be if I could use the same finger model. Yeah, but then I lose the wave painting, right? Unless I had some good use for auto auto waves here, right? But to do this kind of work one by one is really tedious. Fortunately, I have only 3 fingers, not 4 in this aligned in this way, but it's still a lot of work. So I'm considering maybe I should delete these meshes and just keep working on one finger, and then I copy paste, and then I just change their. You know what? This is very interesting idea, but look at this, the topology. Yeah, it will not be so easy to get them rearranged later on. Yeah, so it's not a perfect deal, although rearranging the mesh topology is in this case is not particularly complicated to rejoin stuff or whatever. I don't really want to do this extra work, so maybe can get confusing. Right, what is this vertex about? Oh, it's the something on the hand. Alright, so I know the fingers are not chubby enough. I'm just trying to fix their shapes first of all, but there's okay, so we can try to attempt everything simultaneously in some aspect. So let's try to make this more radical. Maybe this thing should go back. This is the part that will go inside. These exaggerations. The problem is that this mesh doesn't have wave painting on the fingers, so it will stay like this as the fingers open straighten up. So this is something that I need to address later, but the idea to start it like this could be helpful for the rest position. So I'm keeping this, but perhaps I'm pushing this that way, and this I could push backwards too to compensate for this redimensioning and for the changes on the mesh that I'm doing. This could be bigger. This, what about it now? I'm tempted to exaggerate these things. No, not that much. Let's look at the shapes here. You see here, this really looks like it could benefit from whatever I do here. It never goes enough. So what's happening there? Ah, this vertex, of course. Let's bring it down, push it inside the palm of the hand. Maybe it helped a little. Yeah, it's right in the middle. So okay, and what about this one? Push it outwards. Okay, so this shape is interesting for a clenched fist. This mesh like protruding like an avalanche, like a wave in the sea getting into the sand, right? So if you clench your fist and just look your hand sideways, and if you can invert your hands, it like, see from the angle we see here, you probably will realize this shape as the fingers touch they roll around, and then as they touch the mesh, you see that this thing starts to compress, this flesh, and then it starts to, yeah. So, and now it looks like for me that this mesh is too, for this hand is also too long. So I'm gonna make even more work here in terms of yeah, approximating this mesh here. This is a bit dangerous, but let's do this. Okay. Yeah, because it really does look like that my hand is not very proportional. It's an elongated cartoon style, usually elongated limbs, elongated yeah, but alright, so what the okay, that sounds fine, except the shape here. I would like to bring this slightly outwards, because it looks like now that the hand is too going to the other side. So this is a generic transformation of, I know I'm changing the bones positioning. Where did go my height steps? Height steps is an add-on, by the way. Yeah, it's oh, I have the, I was editing the clothes. Now I don't want this. Okay, locked object mode, so let's, alright, let's hide all those things. Okay, this will elaborate on my focus, concentration. So, okay, I'm liking what I'm doing here, but I'm never satisfied with this thing. So, for this pose at least, I think I know ways to solve this interaction as the fingers straighten up. How this mesh here could also straighten up, and this one too, right? I think I have some ideas there. This is actually intermediate rigging, not advanced rigging. This can be very easy to achieve. Okay, so you see how these fingers are not worked out, and this one is, right? So this is chubby, but far from being chubby enough. At this point, I don't want to hide. Oh, I can hide the thumb at least. Okay, so hide the thumb. Oh no, not this mesh though, because it gives me some spatial reference here that is fundamental for me to solve these positionings. So do I have? Yes, I have, but can I do this on this level? No, I need smaller. Okay, here, and so here. Alright, not alright of course, but first I want to reposition it in a better aligned way with the hand, because it's kind of ugly. If we see from the front, let me see my own hand. Okay, it can be straight, but I like this orientation here, so slightly bend inwards can be cool. Then for this part, keep this idea. Aligning mesh is much more complicated than aligning bones, so actually I'm taking huge risks here in whatever I'm doing. Especially a mesh that is low poly, right? That it's not something like we gonna shape organically. Not that actually shaping organically on a sculpting might be even more difficult. I don't know. I don't sculpt a lot. Would like to have more experience on sculpting, especially now that I have a better computer to handle a lot of. Okay, so what about this? I'm checking my own fingers and I'm trying to see the proportions. Alright, Alright, this looks like a golden proportion, but I'm not sure if that's the case. So what I need to do now, in order to advance on this chubby part, is doing some... Okay, so it will be on the normal, but I don't think I can do this. Individual, global. Alright. Global in relation, I guess, to the viewport, right? So I'm gonna make chubby phalanx here, and this because of the volume loss that these fingers will have as the fingers the fingers straighten up. Of course, I'm not sure. You see, this is much better in terms of volume, but here, despite the subdivision, this is hardly enough. We need much more than that. I was considering getting rid of those subdivisions to make my life much easier. So let's attempt this craziness. Alright, you see, this doesn't make things horrible. I can at any time make the subdivision again, and this will make my life simpler. So let's do this already for all these fingers. Dissolve edge. That worked. Yeah, that worked. And then for this one, maybe there is that part of the finger I've created later. Can I dissolve that? This looks bad idea. Yeah, this looks a bad idea. So I cannot do this, but what if I could okay, there's a subdivision here. Okay, so maybe I could do something about this at least. Gonna make an experiment, folks. Gonna save, dissolve these ones, and connect. Wait, this kind of... Well, no, this is not... This didn't really work. But then, what if I do this and do this? Okay, these more or less work, but let's use some rotational thing here. Yeah, it's working. No, this can't be working. I think this is too risky. Yeah, you see, this looks horrible. The problem is that this thing should, in such case, it should really go like that, right? And of course it looks horrible, but now it's a horrible way to solve this geometry. Well, at least it simplifies, but then what if I do that? The problem is I'm not sure if I can resolve to the original state easily. So not that the original state was much better, right, folks? But yeah, I like this quadratic thing there. But this curving mesh topology also makes sense. Let's take this off. Shape-wise, they are nearly the same thing, right? And if I just bring this a bit to the front, they are... Yeah, and maybe bring this... It's strange, right, to solve, but shape-wise they are nearly look like the same. So I think I can use this, and then I can dissolve this finally. So let's see. Yes, of course, if I do that, I need to fix these other ones. and then these, of course, and then this is our way to get the chubby fingers. They need to be chubbier on the sides too, and yeah, each thing needs to be chubbier, and also this is terrible, the mesh, how it is going on there. I absolutely need to fix this part. This will be a case to... Okay, but let me first try to align this stuff. What's going on here? This is the middle. This could be... This is the knuckle. No, this is not the knuckle. Here's the knuckle. So I could exaggerate... Oh, this one got bigger than the center one. So let's change this and let's bring this upwards, because why not? Low poly and subdivision surface modifier on one, very cool to make experiments. What is this? Okay, because I've deleted the... It's impossible to understand what's going on here. I'll have to hide some... What about this? Could I bring this here and still get good results? Let's see. Yes, apparently yes. Let me just see how does it look in... Alright, this is looking good. I don't mean the shape of the fingers. Remember, I deleted the... I can't make subdivision here. Something very bad going on. I think I'm gonna fix that later. And so far, I'm about to complete this, making the fingers all chubby on that rest pose, so that as the fingers straighten up, they wouldn't get... their volume loss will be good enough so that I wouldn't require additional rigging to them. So this thing here is horrible. Let's make adjustments to it. Of course, this will cause horrible volume loss, because this means that this finger there is already very thin, and that will be totally wrong. What is this? Oh, this is exactly this vertex here, edging vertex. So this, I want to get it inside like that, but it cannot be here or here. It needs to be there. So this means that all these faces, maybe they are protruding too much, and they will be damaging the length, how do you say, these things, the fatness of those phalanx, that they need to be chubby in this strategy. And so now we see that something strange is happening there. Yes, this is bad. I think this rotation is wrong. No, something is very bad here. It's the subdivisions. Okay, so alright, so maybe this, yeah, this is a critical one. No, this is here, but it subdivides there. So this is the middle one, and then this goes back to this one. Alright, I see. Okay, so this is a problem. This can be reduced. This one is a tricky one, a tricky vertex for this approach. And let's see about this. We could I'll make a test with this finger only. Let's bring this thing here. Is this the finger that I had made this change in the mesh topology? No, it was this one. So let's do this to all of them. So what is the idea? The idea is that okay, I see. So I'll start by giving this cut here and cut there, and then I dissolve this and this, and then we have something that is not entirely correct. I need to dissolve this. Alright, and now this is looking okay. So same here, it would be, I already did it to this one apparently, but its shape looks very incorrect. But indeed it is no, there you go, it is wrong. This is this edge loop. Okay, so there is this here to here. I cannot see it because it's too far. Let's use the proportional editing to push this apart, then cut here, then cut there if I may, proportional editing, then cut this, and then dissolve this, and then proportional editing. Let's move this apart and see. So what finger is this? This is the index finger. Alright. It's incredibly chubby already, that phalanx, but I think this is what gonna work. So for this part, maybe this should go up. Where's the opposite side of it? Here would it be? No, it's there. So let's push it up to let's make some rotations here. I'm using proportional editing. The orientation looks more likely aligned. Yeah, it's still have some bad alignment. Let's augment this and augment this. Same here. Let's augment here and augment here. Which, let's see on subdivisions. Yeah, this looks very bad in this that part, right? The joints, they are complicated. So they apparently, I cannot have the double thing going on with so little subdivisions. We'll keep trying. So maybe a single subdivision would fix the problem. So the joint cannot be that way, right? The joint really needs to be inside, right? Otherwise this will be terrible always. So unavoidable, right? Because of the subdivisions. So that's why I had the subdivisions in the middle. So this could be the way to go, and then I can reduce this, see, a lot, and then this one gets chubbier, this thing. Yeah, maybe the last one not that much, but something like that. Of course, this is all disorientation of this is terrible. We'll try to solve this. Is completely unaligned with the finger, with the phalanx. Now it's interpenetrating, but at least it's better than that distortion, than the alignment it was having. Let's see. Okay, and for here, same problem, it's a joint problem, and I have an issue regarding the face loop, for the edge loop. For some reason this is not loop cutting, and so we'll have to address this. I'm going to hide the middle, the pinky, the thumb, and for some reason there are some issues with the okay, so these things are, let's go directly to the palm, hide. Alright, so there's, because of the subdivisions, we'll have to adjust these vertex groups, unfortunately. And but let's go for the so this is wrong. This shouldn't be part of this thing. Select hide. What is this doing here? Middle finger. Oh, I see. Okay, so there's a confusion there, but we'll solve this in some other approach. So let's hide that way, and I'm seeing the fingers from inside, so probably a confusion here with the so this is the alright, so this is the face loop that I want to make, and I was having some issue. Okay, this got, what is this? I believe this is something that got lost, or it's some equivalent to this. Yes, these fingers are too close, that's why it got messed up. So let's see how is going the face loop that I was doing, this one, and it just requires a last one. You cannot see there, so let's hide everything for the middle finger. Let's see what's going on here. There. So this, I don't know what is it right now, and this is the loop. So now it should be correct. Oh, this one is not looping, this face, but this might be a normal behavior, since there at some point there are some vertices that stay in the way. Okay, so what we do here, just that I'm concerned about this, I think this is some, let's dissolve this thing. If there's something really bad going on here, this looks like no, not touching that yet. Apparently there's something going very wrong there, but I cannot know for sure right now, so I need to fix those things anyways. It's annoying, but let's go for the test, right? So I have incredible chubbiness already on this phalanx, and yes, this is annoying. I cannot. All right, that looks fine. This, because I have this now, this middle, I can reduce here, and this, yeah, this is certainly wrong. What is this connecting to? Oh, this is something there, right? Okay, so let's use the proportional edit. I should have done this before. Let's spread this apart, and let's realize there's probably some hole going on there. And yeah, so this is an accident vertex, but it's connect. This edge is that. So maybe I should merge this with that. Let's take the risk. This should have solved the problem. What is that? All right. Okay, that looks like it has solved the problem. Taking a lot of time to solve all this craziness, but I'm concerned about the result. This is, I mean, the result will pay off, in my opinion, of all this suffering. Let's reduce the joints. Yeah, maybe this is a better way to work on this. So we reduce here, then of course there is now some, with those proportional editing I've made a lot of bad transforms here. So let's try to, I need to see the hand back again, like this. The thumb, maybe that helps too. And yeah, let's hide though the rest of the mesh. Here, and we have hide steps. Let's go back to our hand mesh, and this now is easier. Let's pick our bones here. Let's make some proportional editing, right? Oh, this is not touched. This can get chubbier. This can go to this direction, but I don't need proportional editing for this one. This is fine. This one could get a bit, yes, those one should be smaller, at least at the top we'll get them smaller, something like that. Alright, so now you see that the finger is starting to look more natural. This part needs more attention, and here perhaps larger, the bottom larger, and we could bring this finger more to the, so let's use the proportional editing, something like that. So I need to rotate everything, right? So there is the, now the hand is on the way, so let's hide. Okay, at least that worked. Then we pick this, we do more rotations here. The alignment here looks horrible. What is this? Is about the hand, the palm, right? So can hide it, nothing to do with the finger right now. This is really crazy, but who cares? If it works, it works. I'm concerned how this will really deform. If this deforms properly, this is completely crazy, right? It might work. So, alright, so this push here inwardly, even more. It doesn't respond so well. I like this. Looks like a good stylization, but maybe it's too much right now. And yeah, it doesn't need to do all that. And the idea is this one can even go more inwardly, and that outwardly. Why not? Not sure if this could be a good idea. Yes, it gives more space to get this inwardly. It's pushing the other, so that's fine. But now I'm starting to think that this phalange is too small in relation of this one. Yeah, this one is gigantic in relation to that one. If you check your own fingers, you might realize, at least for the index, that these two phalanges are not so far one from the other in terms of length. So this means that probably I've exaggerated this length here. So what I'm gonna do is gonna push everything this way. I think the deformed bones are giving this stretchiness, so that's why the results are not equivalent so well. So to solve this, I will have to address now the... Wow, look at that. This is badly deformed now. Let's fix this with some smooth thing. Alright. Good. Okay. These rotations are probably bad because also the armature, see? It looks like... I'm afraid I have to rotate all the hand. Yeah, no reason why the hand should start tilted, but that's okay. It does not... Okay, and then the bones, right? Reassess this position. I'm gonna do this a bit faster this time, and because I just want to test for this finger. Of course, let's get it as the alignment of the bones this time I'm concerned about. Okay, this is quite distorted, the mesh, I mean, so but we'll make the test nonetheless. So let's align this bone roll with this one, so Shift N, active bone. Align this bone roll with this, Shift N, active. Alright, and maybe align this with that. And of course this is not enough. Now I should have started the opposite way, so let's... and this one to this one. So let's activate screencast. I should have done this before. This roll, it should be the opposite way, actually, slightly opposite, something inwards like that, but very slightly. Okay, let's do this again. And from this roll, I want to... Wow, the z-axis is completely wrong. It looks like even it didn't do the proper roll. It should be like that, right? Alright, so let's do it manually then. And for this one, let's see if it aligns. Okay, alignment go crazy too, so let's roll this way. And for this one, let's reset and roll this way. So I don't know what happened to these rolls. They look messed up. But if the okay, so the deformed bones are reaching the grand test. So a chubby finger gets quite a lot of volume loss. It's not horrible. We can address the wave painting still. The knuckle suffers a lot. Not the knuckle, this part of the mesh. Of course, if we try to do this, then the results are horrible. But this is not all. We need to address, okay, this one looks, the other fingers, the other phalanx are looking, yeah, this is pretty bad too. So there is some exaggeration where this breaks apart. But sideways, because there are no rotations on the sides, it looks good. So the problem really is let's say the z-axis volume loss. But it's much better than what I had originally. And yeah, the lateral shapes sounds good. The vertical shapes, I need to address this in some way. Let's see the wave painting. Maybe there's something very wrong about the waves. There's a long time I don't address them. So first of all, I don't know why those waves are okay. So there are some shearing waves here that are horrid. So let's do something about this. I will pick this, hide this mesh, and if there is need to clean up on these bones regarding the hand mesh, I won't care right now, except for the other fingers. So this requires urgent fixing. Okay, so maybe I was suffering, my rig was having this horrible volume loss because these waves were blended waves on occasions, right? You see, and of course there was lacking. Okay, so for some reason my mesh is not okay. Wrongly selected mesh maybe. And also here, let's make sure we hide this. All right. Why I can wave paint now? This is unknown to me. Maybe are those I was able to paint. Is this because of this are locked? No, this have nothing to do with that. So what's going on? It's like wave strings makes no sense. These are unlocked. Oh, I'm subtracting apparently. No, it's multiply. Let's try. Oh, I don't use multiply. I just mix. This is the explanation. Alright, so we can massively give waves here to the yeah, it doesn't solve everything. Maybe but I must take waves also from the, so there are interferences. Yeah, difficult to access this vertex right there. Alright, so actually many of my problems I was having with the fingers was not just the rotations. They were really critically bad wave paint. I should have addressed this before. So maybe I made very wrong assumptions about how important this approach of the rest position for the fingers rig I was having. but maybe it's still valid investigation, because it is clear that even, well, it is clear to me that this should occur on the fingers too. It happens to the thigh on a 90 degrees rotation already, so it's normal. But maybe it was not as bad as I thought it were, but still we can see that. We'll see in more details now. Probably I'll have a better results, but more natural results with this fixing of the waves. But certainly volume loss is happening anyways, to some extent, which might require additional maybe I shouldn't take this off. Alright, so this should take so for fingers must be very careful about blended waves or blend waves. This is cannot take off here, but doesn't mean that I shouldn't reduce some influence here. Let's see. No. Alright, so this part is confusing. Maybe I need to zoom this part here, maybe doing this. There are some vertices here which are special. Okay, this might be important. Alright, this edge loop here, and then the rest for the joint. Maybe we could leave these ones. No, it's good to have here on the last phalanx. What about, no, this is already, so we could reduce here, I guess, subtract only here. So this will be looking more like auto waves, though not there, just this. Okay, something like that. Okay, this looks cool. Maybe because of the mesh topology peculiar mesh topology that I have here, it must be done this way. So maybe this is for the last one, and no blended waves whatsoever. Then large waves, let's reinforce here these ones. Maybe this will require some, let's blend waves around here. Maybe this can be an okay idea. And then this one now must take maximum there, and here too, and let's see this pattern. Okay, leave that alone. Alright, let's take off. Oh, I see. Leave that alone here. Subtract. Let's rotate this. Subtract here. Let's see anything else there. Okay, this looks fine. These are normal to be like that. Okay, volume loss there, but we are not working there yet. Volume loss here, but we didn't finish this one. And here, volume loss, but it, at least so far, it's looking okay. The finger may not supposed to be doing that way, and maybe it's an okay squash deformation, maybe. No, it's not okay, but it's not like I will be doing this all the time. It's look a bit weird, maybe I should. So yes, this is not something about the mesh topology. This is certainly the volume loss thing due to the rotation. So even this strategy didn't help a lot. I must make sure that I can solve the last ones here. So maybe another tiny, wow, what's that? This is unexpected. What's going on? Why this bone particularly doesn't suffer the wave loss properly? Oh yeah, maybe here. Yeah, there are some wrong waves, or not. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, it's a complicated mesh topology to wave paint, right? It's simple, but it's complicated, and anything we do wrong in the wave painting has high impact in the final result, so must be very careful, but it's logical. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so now this is not so bad, this shape, but strangely I think it's this edge loop positioning right in the middle, right, and its shape. So maybe for this case I can address this in a very precise way. It's very funny though. Is the middle one. We see how large it is, but so we pick this. Maybe we should bring it further to this direction, maybe give it some tilt, right? Oh, I have the proportional editing. Okay, so like this or like this. But look at my own finger. Looks like something like that would make more sense, anatomically speaking. So let's check. Well, it's still too massive, but yeah, had some improvement. This is fine, except when going there, of course. This suggests it is possible to avoid volume loss, but I don't understand how this is occurring, but this is very interesting. I need to keep this in mind. Let's continue here. I hope there are no rogue waves on those fingers, by the way. So let's continue here. This one should require the mix on these two. Come on. No. It's resistant. You see, I'm wave painting that vertex, but it wants to paint the rest. So yeah, miserable thing right here. Okay, finally, and that one stays black color, and this is fine. Those are blend with blurred ones. That's fine. These, let's give the maximum we can already. And then for the starting and the knuckle region, I'm not sure now what will be best. There are some waves there that I believe are unrequired. Certainly here this is unrequired. Then here it could be relevant, so I cannot just take this off randomly. Here on the sides this is probably relevant, but let's leave it like that. Some shared waves, but let's see, something like that. Then here maybe I should just take this off, take off here too for now to simplify, and then here too. In the inner part of the palm I should verify too. This deforms looking good on the flesh. Maybe this, should I remove this or should it? Yeah, maybe this is too much for this area. Maybe this is a transitional region, so let's same as here, and then the knuckle get the maximum waves. So let's see how this is looking. Knuckles. Okay, the shape of this is very good, but maybe in terms of volume loss it doesn't seem to be suffering a lot from it. So although it looks like more now a man hand than a female hand, I think I should mention that. But so this is not so satisfying for this character, but maybe, and those shapes are really good now, I think, even though it's not the hand of this character. Now this is bad. Yes, volume loss, so I don't know yet how to solve it. Just maybe tweaking the starting position of the, or maybe more wave painting there, but I'm starting to get a bit tired. So it's satisfying to see that the method kind of worked out. So the rest position, let's look how it, so the hand, of course this is not the right perspective. All right, I need to time to think about all this thing. I need a backup solution for the volume loss thing. There's a volume, I know more than one rigger that use this technique. Okay, this is not what I want. There's something like preserve volume, right? Let's see, what is the one that is critically losing here? Okay, so let's add something like bone constraint to this bone, limit scale, maintain volume. Oh, this one, yes, there was something like that that existed. All right, and then what is the z-axis owner local space? What is this? No, not z-axis. Strict, uniform, single axis. Okay, so it's certainly not the hold on, y-axis. Okay, 1. So the z-axis is what I want. So why it is not responding to the, you see here that as we go up, so let's exaggerate here, volume 2. It grows in that direction for some reason. This is the gizmo for this bone. You see? Here for this, here for this, here for this. So it grows and the y-axis. Why the y? Free axis. And without this, volume loss, critical volume loss. Okay, so this is the backup solution. Maintain volume, very simple, but of course, so it's not X, it's not Y, it's not Z, it's the Y. Influence, okay, so we can play with this workspace. I don't know, I think it's local space with parent, local space, whatever. So, oh, hold on. Okay, local space. These ones maybe are not requiring this because they are not suffering. Oh, they seem to, yeah, because this affects the bone and they are parented, they inherit the thing. So this is dangerous, but this means that maybe I could make the fingers less chubby and then use this to some extent. Okay, 1 is natural, so like to this one, right? This doesn't require this, I believe. And then additionally, we could make this as a driver. We can drive this thing. So I think this will be the best thing to do. So okay, we found, I knew there was something about volume, I couldn't find, now I've remembered, but I was thinking about other stuff and then I totally missed the maintain volume. So it's much simpler thing to do. And so the idea is that each of them would require the maintain volume, but I'll even give it, no, let's leave it to be there. And this means that I can fix the thing, and I believe that they need a driver. So you see here how bad this is. The problem is this inherit scale. Yeah. Because then this means that they would only respond because if this finger is like that, it will still get augmented volume from this. Why it is elongating even? Strict, uniform, single axis. Yeah, there's other problems involved apparently, and it was actually an illusion. Yeah, apparently an illusion. So as this rotates here, let's see. Okay, volume loss there. Yeah, the problem is, you see, this one would require the thing here for this kind, because the fingers can do that, something like that, and this is not very good. So slight volume, maintain volume here. The advantage of this one is that it wouldn't it wouldn't affect any children, so this is fine, but this will immediately affect its child. And the problem is that these bones, they do have, okay, so there is another way I can solve that. They are part of F-key chain. The inverse kinematic, I was planning to make an I-key chain for them, separate mechanism bones that will have I-key chain. Those mechanism chain bones, they would allow that these deformed bones would be parented individually to them. And this will develop a separation of this F-key chain for the deformed bones, allowing that this is restricted to the single bone itself. Okay, so here we go, this is the solution. And luckily I was already planning a separate I-key chain, and that I was planning it not even for this case. I was planning this I-key chain so that the rest pose for the hand would be the fingers like that, and then the rest position for the bones and the armature, the mesh, would be like that as it is right now. And so the I-key chain mechanism bones would be straight up, also because the I-key chain, to work better, it required to work the way I want, because there is no pole target includingly. They will work with, I've already explained this technique, this method. I would use on pose mode, I would use this thing. Oh, let's show it how it would work right now. Although only this finger here has the property set up. So it would be something like that, because these bones, they are not aligned right anymore. So hold on, let's auto a key. And okay, because they are not aligned on the rest position for the armature, this is why I need an I-key chain that is aligned, fully aligned, straight, all the bones straight, including the last one. Then I can push it into into the opposite direction easily. I still seem be able to do it, but look, this is what happens because the chain is all messed up so I need another chain, that would make this rig very, very good in my opinion. Oh, so here you see the I-key panel in, but I've made these solvations when the hand was open, and after then I've repositioned the rest position for the mesh and the bones, and then I have to not redo these settings here, inverse kinematics panel on pose mode, but for each bone. But I need to I need that chain, that is mechanism chain focusing forwards. And actually this would be more like a control chain, because I still want to be able to pose the bones individually, F-key stuff, right? So for that, this will not be a mechanism chain exactly, it will be a control chain, and this will be the last bone of that chain. And all these settings would go to that control chain, would be a control I-key chain, so I'd call it like that. And then I could use the volume loss only on the deformation bones. These bone constraints here, the transformation, they go for the control chain bones of the fingers, and I could reassess. Yeah, this could be driven, this value here, by the amount of rotation of each individual bone. So it's a copy paste thing then for yeah. And then once I find the critical rotation where things start to get really bad, and then finally reassess the shape of these fingers. Yes, so this will, if I fix all these things, I could make a tutorial about this hand fingers rig, really good tutorial from, yeah, for this method I'm using. I visualize this. It could be a very cool tutorial with very in part orthodox techniques, in part non-orthodox techniques. So this could be very interesting. Okay, I have a good topic for a tutorial. And so folks, thanks for watching. This was a lot of time and a lot of work on this and exploration. Really interesting things that I'm learning here that can be achieved, and also I'm glad that I was finally able to resolve this thing. And yeah, I'll need extra work for fixing all that, but I'm okay. That is what I have to keep doing, and at some point I hope to be able to start that tutorial. I think it will be a good method to be a next tutorial. I hope to finish this hand still on this week. I think it's feasible. Not sure if I'm gonna streamcast this, if I live stream this process, but we'll see that. See ya folks, happy blending and have a nice day.